All right, I see Leanna's here. I see Jackie's here. Nice to see you, ladies. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Rebecca's here, of course. And of course, Teresa is here. Hi, darling. Um, Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you today. And I'm talking about something today that's really important. Um, and it's at the base of what I'm talking about is self-love. And um, I don't like a lot of talk around self-love because it has become overused and trite, and it's not really the thing that helps people, I think. Saying, hey, do you love yourself? A lot of us just living is an act of self-love. And if we're in survival mode, it is really an act of self-love to go on living, to go on fighting the good fight, to go on trying in this life. So I'm trying to just kind of avoid talking about this in terms of self-love. Self-care is probably a little bit more of where I'm going with this. But really what it comes down to is what we were talking about last month here in the League of Badass Butterflies, and it's about being that empress and having boundaries and being grounded. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Crystal Lynn Bell, and I'm a master spiritual life coach and worthiness advocate for women. I am founder of Badass Butterflies Spiritual Life Coaching. And I'm just really happy to be here with you all talking about this stuff, which is really a passion of mine. Taking care of yourself and living in this life is really important for me. My theory is that everything we experience in the world begins inside. So for me as a woman, as an individual, as a human, understanding who I am, what I need, and what I want to create is paramount, okay? And then how to go about making that manifest in the world is a part of my personal human evolution. Well, when you decide to become a spiritual life coach, and this is true even if you're not just a coach. So let's say that you're a tarot reader. Let's say that you're a Reiki master, or you're a yogini, or you're a quantum healer, or you are an author of self-help books, or you have a blog, or you're doing something that helps people. You are in a state of channeling from the divine and giving to the world. And people are receiving from you, and the universe is receiving from you. And what we kind of don't realize is that there is a tremendous amount of usage that is happening through you. And I don't want to make this sound bad, because I'm not trying for it to sound bad, but maybe it needs to sound bad a little bit to help us all understand ourselves a little bit better. And here's what I want you to understand. When you all are channeling the divine and working with the divine, you're actually when you're a channel, when you are a medium, when you are doing remote viewing, when you are in a state and you're doing clairaudience, or you're using your clairvoyance, you're actually in a state of being used by the universe. Now, this is not the same use. Well, hold on. I was gonna say this is not the same way as being used by, some friend who is using you for, your good energy to kind of, she's using and abusing you. It's not the same thing, but in a way, it is. So let me qualify this because I don't want to upset anyone, and I also don't want to misrepresent what I'm saying. So please don't judge what I'm saying until I've had a chance to actually say it wholly. So when you are in command of your own energy, and you are when you are in command of your energy and you are present with yourself and you are channeling for the divine, there is an energy, there's an energetic exchange that feels wonderful. And here's the thing, that's work. When you are channeling for the divine and you're putting it out in the world, my friend, that is work. Now, I see you all out there doing your readings, you're doing videos, you're creating a lot, and you're not asking for compensation, okay? And the problem with that is that you're working and you're not getting paid. And that is a mindset that is a problem, okay? Because when you give, you are to receive. It's a natural give and take and flow in the universe, okay? Now, if you're not receiving, there is a mental, most likely subconscious, and it's probably a part of your self-image, right? Now, keep in mind, y'all, I am not all about the money. I am not. I do live streams that are informative for free twice a week, every single week. There's a lot that I do for free. So I'm not really all about the money. But what I am all about is you being in your true power, unobstructed by a negative or low vibrational self-concept. And many women are in a low vibrational self-concept where they feel like they have to give and give and give, and asking is somehow not good, not okay, and receiving is really awkward, okay? So my point is this, okay, and this is what today's topic is really all about. You have got to guard who you are. Wait, hold on. First, you have got to clean up who you are. And then once you've gotten that cleaned up version of who you are, meaning you have a positive self-concept, you understand your value, you understand what you bring to the table, you understand that you are priceless and you are a gem, and what you have gone through is worth being compensated for. Okay, so you got to make sure that that is intact. Once that is intact, then you have to protect that. And that's what today's conversation is all about. And in the comments, I want to hear from you all where you are on this kind of spectrum of understanding your worth and owning it 100%. Do you understand how valuable you are? And do you understand the value of your experience and your offers? Okay, if you do, give yourself a 10 in the comments, all right? But if you're kind of maybe on the other end of the spectrum, like you kind of like, you know, you have something to offer, but you don't feel it, you're kind of scared of it, you need to move to the other end of the spectrum, down around 0 or 1 or 2. This is just about your perception. I already know that what you have to offer is a 10, okay? Whether you have done the work to really hone it and to bring it out, that's a different story. That doesn't change the fact that you have so much that you can offer, okay? Those are two totally different things. So I'm asking you about how you feel about yourself and what you bring to the table. In the comments, give me on a scale of 0 to 10, where are you in knowing your value? So I've got some notes here. Today, our session is called Guidance, Gratitude, and Growth, 5 essential steps for aspiring spiritual coaches to stay grounded. All right. And I want to just take a moment here, and just for those of you who are watching, who are ready to take the next step and who are wanting to become spiritual life coaches, I want to invite you to book yourself in for a strategy call to talk to me about how you can go from where you are today to becoming that spiritual life coach who has a calendar full of clients and who's got a message that is out in the world and who is sharing her message and sharing her gifts. If that is you, then let's talk about how we can work together to make that real. All right. Rebecca will drop that link for us in the comments. And I see that Iris has joined us. Hi, darling. It's good to see you. And Jackie says, I'm probably, definitely working on it, Jackie. Absolutely. And you're feeling the value or recognizing the value that you bring at a 6. Okay. I can definitely see so much more with you, of course, but I get it. You're seeing yourself at a 6. Leanna is like, look, I'm a 3 on the sidelines. All right, sister, fine. We know, girl, you got some stories. You got some experiences that you can bring. I understand. This is not about like criticizing or shaming. This is about understanding that who you are and what you think you have, there's a big discrepancy. With Jackie, it's a smaller discrepancy. With Leanna, it's a bigger discrepancy. Leanna thinks she's right here, and the reality is she's way up there, okay? This is what we need to start, this is what we need to be talking about and working on a regular basis. So today, I've got for you 5 tips to kind of help you step into your power. All right, that's what today is about. All right, so and here's kind of the basis of why I'm talking about this stuff today. You are a giver, and it drains you, all right? And you're already a giver in your life. You are giving to your children, to your spouse, to your friends, to your family, okay? You're a giver, and you're an empath. And again, what tends to happen with folks like you is you aren't necessarily receiving enough. So again, talking about just kind of keeping that in the back of your mind. And when you make the decision to become a spiritual helper, a spiritual coach, a tarot reader, a Reiki master, a yogi instructor, a yogini, you are stepping into a realm where you're giving a lot more than people can pay you to receive. So let's say you go to a yoga class and you pay $35 for that 90-minute yoga class. For some people, $35 for a 90-minute yoga class seems like a lot of money. However, what is the transformation that a yoga class can give you? Better health, like the ability to flex, offsetting aging, okay? All of these kinds of things are really, really high benefits. And when you have a yoga instructor that takes it to the next level, where your yoga instructor is also like a coach, and she is giving you wisdom to take back home to use off the mat, when she is talking to you, or maybe you're having a private session with her, and she is reading your energy and giving you a whole other level that goes beyond, oh, I can do crow pose, okay? That woman and her message is worth her weight in gold. Why? Because she is giving you the life-changing nuggets that you need in order to transform your life, to be your best self. So all of this is to say that we are going into a profession where even if you're charging $200 or $300 an hour, or $400 or $500 an hour, that is still small in comparison to the transformation you are bringing. When you are saving marriages, when you are saving people's lives because they don't recognize the sickness that they have, but you being a seer, you see the sickness, you call them on it, you say, go see your doctor tonight, or you save a woman and her baby because you're like, honey, something's not right. You need to go to the doctor tonight. You tell me that that's only worth $300? No, that is priceless, okay? So my point is that we're putting dollar amounts on what we're offering. Some of you all are putting low dollar amounts, which I don't approve of, okay? But we need to work on the mindset so that you can, get what you deserve, okay? And also you can get what you need so that you can participate in the marketplace and participate in your life. But my point is that what you offer is beyond money, all right? So we have to be really, really careful because we're giving at an extremely high intensity. And we need to make sure that at the very least, we are taking care of ourselves, all right? So let's just imagine a scenario, okay? Let's say that you are on a job, all right? You're working on a 9-to-5 job, and you are going into that job and you are working for someone else, and they have decided, your hours, they are deciding what you do, what time you arrive, they're saying what time you leave, everything is determined by that job. And y'all know I appreciate a 9-to-5 job because that, helps us survive, okay? And all the people that are out there doing their jobs, thank you, because y'all are doing jobs, keeping my electricity on, like y'all are doing your jobs. I appreciate that. But you and I have a calling for something different, okay? You and I have a calling from source, from spirit, to be something different, something other than a 9-to-5 employee. We're being called to be of service, and we're being called to help people spiritually and energetically, all right? So things are a little bit different for us. We are more sensitive. We aren't necessarily, we don't have the mindset that says, I'm going to shut down and leave everything alone. We tend to be pretty empathic. So what I have for you today are 5 different tools to kind of guard and protect your beautiful, natural, high vibration. So let me just tuck into those 5 things, all right? And let's talk about this. And what's the outcome? Let me actually tell you about the outcome, because these 5 things are going to give you, they're going to help protect your empathy. But why do we need that protection? Well, there are a few reasons. First of all, when you are an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur for a big corporation, and it doesn't matter what the industry is. If you are the leader of a company, You are a leader of a movement, okay? You're a leader of a movement. And as the leader, you are holding the vibration of an entire movement. It's not just a company. And that is true whether you are an entrepreneur or a CEO of a giant corporation with thousands of employees, or you are a solopreneur and you are holding the vision of your own dream, but you also have all those people who you are serving, not just your clients who have paid you, but all your followers, all the people who are watching you and you don't even know they're watching you. They're watching your videos, they're getting your emails, they are following you on Facebook. They're not liking anything. They're not commenting on anything. They're just reading your stuff and moving on. They don't want to leave an imprint, but they are still following you, okay? And of course, there are the people who are not yet connected, but they're connected energetically and they're swirling around, coming closer and closer to you, right? That's where the masses are. That's where the millions are, okay? So you are holding the space for the movement. And when I say the movement, what I mean is ultimately that desire for change that they want to see in their own lives. So for me and you, or well, at least for me, my movement and the movement that I am holding the space for is that transformation from caterpillar to butterfly. So whether that's for my private clients who are wanting to go from being, I don't know what I want to do for work, to, starting their own business and pursuing that, or whether it's, I don't have a life partner, but I want one, and, helping her open up to that. I want to have a baby, helping her open to that. I want to make $1 million, helping her open to that, right? So my movement is, I am here, caterpillar, to I want this thing, badass butterfly, all right? That's the movement that I hold space for. And it's a beautiful movement. I love it. This is my lane, okay? What do you think your movement is? What movement are you spearheading, do you think? Put it in the comments for me, y'all, okay? If you have an idea of what your movement is, pop it in the comments. And even if you're watching the replay, pop it into the comments. I go back and read all the comments. So please let me know what your movement is. Now, as the leader of this movement, there's a lot of that you're doing. Of course, there's a lot that you're doing physically, but there's a lot more that you're doing energetically that you cannot mentally account for. You're a vibration holding being, so your vibration needs to be high. So again, I'm telling you why I'm talking about this. And I'm talking about this because I want for you to be able to thrive in good health. And I want you to be prepared for all the goodness that you are bringing in the world. And nobody is going to take care of you for you. You have to take care of you for yourself. So I'm giving you these 5 tips so that you can do that. Why? So that you can go out and be the best solopreneur, spiritual life coach, tarot reader, yogi, yogini, whatever you want to be, okay? Whatever you want to be, I want you to be your best with these 5 tools. This is going to help you protect your golden light so that you can go out there and thrive, all right? So the first thing I want you to consider, and y'all should know what this is. Type in what you think I'm getting ready to say, all right? Because y'all should know what this is. this has kind of been like my really big thing that I've been talking about for the last few months, actually. But this is about boundaries, okay? So setting up boundaries for yourself as a coach are really important. As a spiritual entrepreneur is really important, all right? You would do this in your personal relationships, right? In your personal life, you set up boundaries, but you also need to set up professional boundaries for yourself, all right? So these boundaries can come in many different forms. There can be, I always like to say that the most important boundaries are the boundaries that you establish for yourself. So for example, getting to bed on time, eating the right foods, those are boundaries, okay? If I know that I've got a 5 a.m. client and I know that I like to meditate and journal and do my yoga before that client, before I do anything with anybody, if I got a 5 a.m. client, I need to be up at 3:30, okay? My boundary is that I have to get in bed by 8 o'clock. So what does that mean? My phone goes off by 7 o'clock. I'm home, the dog is walked, everything before 7 o'clock. These are my boundaries that I have to set for myself, right? I need a good night's sleep. So it means I cannot have dinner after 5 o'clock because otherwise that's going to mess with my sleep. The computer has to come off. These are all boundaries, okay, that I'm setting with myself. Likewise, within the client sphere, setting boundaries for the amount of time that you're going to work with people is really important. I know people who have literally said, I charge $50 for a session and the session might go on for 3 hours. And I think, what? That is insane. How on earth do you expect that you're going to be able to take care of yourself and thrive as an adult human being when you're making at the most $100 a day in the Western world? Like, what are you doing? How can you do that? And why would you give so much and ask for so little in return? So boundaries are really, really important, and understanding how to set good boundaries is super important. So yes, please learn how to set boundaries, okay? Let me check in and see what you all have given me for your feedback. Yes, healing from toxic relationships, that's a really good movement, Jackie. Toxic relationships are so challenging. And I find that is a really, really important movement that is also very, very popular. I'm curious because, Jackie, I'm asking you this because you're advanced, and I know you are. What would be your niche? Is it going to be narcissism? If it's narcissism, I want you to give me an even tighter niche than narcissism. What would be, and I'm not saying you have to do this, like you got to do it this way. I'm just curious about where your particular niche is within within the healing from toxic relationships movement, okay? Leanna says, inspirational growth from all types of trauma is my understanding. That is really beautiful, Leanna, and that is one that is very, very close to my heart. That trauma thing was a big part of my life, and I think this is also where Jackie is coming from as well. Understanding trauma, having lived through trauma, and wanting to hear that and heal that, and understanding the growth that can come from it. That's a beautiful movement. I'm still learning about how to set boundaries from other people because I'm a people pleaser. It drains my energy at times. Yikes, not a good feeling. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. This is the issue. And when you're drained, you get tired, grumpy, you can't work on yourself, you can't focus, and then you get diagnosed with things like ADD or anxiety, depression. And really what it comes down to is, look, you got to take your power back and take care of yourself. But that's a different story. Let me keep moving here. Number 2, daily self-care rituals. This is kind of building on the boundaries things, my friend. So incorporating daily routines is a really important part of taking care of yourself. Um, there are a few of you that show up to these live streams twice a week, every week, and that is so badass. That is a really powerful thing to do for yourself. And I like to see you doing that because you're receiving, you're using, you're chewing on the information. It's inspiring you. It's raising your frequency. Anytime you get an opportunity to sit with a teacher live, you are raising your vibration. All right. So making sure you do that. Daily self-care rituals, making sure that you are eating, having your meal in a way that feels very, very, very nurturing to you, right? You're not eating on the road all the time. Everything is just kind of like, I'm moving, I'm not being still. Making sure you create rituals is a way of protecting your time, protecting yourself, and setting really good boundaries, right? And from this place, I titled this thing, what did I call this? Hold on. Guidance, gratitude, and growth. So where does the gratitude come in? Here's where the gratitude comes in for me. And I wanted to kind of just throw this in here because I don't have gratitude as one of the steps, but there's a level of gratitude that, that an empath must have. Now, very often you will hear me talk about appreciation. I prefer to talk in terms of appreciation more than gratitude. Gratitude has an internal kind of implication of lack. Once upon a time, I was lacking. Now I'm not lacking. I am so grateful. Well, that's not 100% accurate, but it's kind of like a way of understanding the difference between gratitude and appreciation. But here's why I like gratitude in this situation. When you are a spiritual entrepreneur and you're giving and you're empathic, there is a level of vulnerability where you're losing a little bit of your life force energy. This is kind of just the nature, and it's tied into what Leanna has said. I'm a people pleaser and it drains my energy. Well, a lot of empaths, a lot of you all are people pleasers. And what this does is keeps you in a permanent state of having to give yourself away in order to feel valuable, okay? And again, this gratitude can be used in this situation to help you kind of seal up that, that hole that is draining. So the practice of gratitude can come in and act as a bit of a salve for the wounded soul. A little bit, it's like a balm for the wounded soul. You can use that gratitude to help you when you are not feeling strong enough to stand up to the people who are essentially bullying you because you are willing to people please them. So gratitude is a wonderful practice for those of you who are in that situation, because gratitude can come in and stop you from hauling off and smacking the shit out of somebody. And the reason I say that is because there can be this buildup of anger and resentment when you are constantly people pleasing and you're not getting back what it is you deserve. And the resentment festers, and it does it on a subconscious level. Now, if you're like me, it comes out in the form of acts of violence. I'll go off, I'll curse people out, I'll be mad. You know, I used to break things. I don't do that anymore. Things have changed. But for a lot of you, especially if you are of the white skin persuasion, okay, if you are Caucasian, of the Caucasian persuasion, y'all don't have permission to act out your anger in verbal ways. You know, you can't, you got a lot of issues around being an angry woman. Like, you're a shrew, okay? That is really, really hard for y'all to deal with. So what happens is, it doesn't mean that you don't have anger. What it means is you internalize your anger, you turn that shit on yourself, and then you get sick. You get anxiety, you get depression, but you also get cancer. You get all kinds of autoimmune disease, okay? And fibromyalgia and injuries and stuff happens, all right? So I'm saying that the anger and the resentment is there, but it's being acted out on yourself as opposed to being let out into the world. So just saying, protect yourself. Gratitude is a way to kind of help you deal with those feelings inside, of course. And this is number 3, okay? Number 3 is about seeking guidance, all right? That's my number 3. Keeping in mind that coaches need coaching, healers need healing and coaching, all right? You need help. You are not meant to do everything on your own. You need to reach out, okay, and get yourself professional help. I invest $5,000 to $10,000 every single year in coaching and therapies for me, but it works wonders. It works wonders. It keeps me sane. It keeps me also knowing what's new and helps me be a better coach, okay? But more than anything, it helps me take care of myself. So there you go. Number 3, seeking guidance. Number 4 is another thing that I want you all doing more of, and that is celebrating small wins. And, you know, I really love it when I have a big win. But y'all, you need to celebrate the small wins that you have every day. The fact that you got out of bed and got a bunch of stuff done, celebrate that at the end of the day. Celebrate it with some good music, a glass of wine or a cup of tea, but do a happy dance at the end of every day and fall into your bed with a sense of, there you go, gratitude. For me, I appreciate, because I'm just kind of done with the gratitude thing, but I fall into bed with a sense of appreciating, elevating, raising the value of everything around me. You know, even if you have a day like today where the only thing I did was this live stream, that's not true. I actually worked on my business plan quite a bit. That's another thing. One other thing, y'all. A lot of being an entrepreneur and working for yourself is just sitting around thinking. What did you do today? I sat on my chair and I thought. I just thought, okay? People looking at you, they're like, why are you just sitting there? I am thinking. I am thinking, and it is the most important thing that I can be doing right now, okay? Understanding that it doesn't look like busy work, but it's really, really important. When I sit down and think, and especially when I'm like putting ideas together, like putting your hand in front of my frontal lobe, my crown chakra, any of this, my heart, there is so much heat that is being burned off when I am thinking, okay? When you are thinking, you are all up with the divine feminine, you're with the divine masculine, you're working with ideas, putting formulas together, you're channeling, you're doing all sorts of stuff. That is a lot of work. Celebrate that you did that. What did you do today? I thought a lot, and it was productive thought. If you can make a productive thought, that's even better, okay? So celebrating your small wins is number 4. And then here's number 5. On tough days, okay, especially when the load feels very heavy, the thing to do is to remember why you are here, right? That is super protective of the empath inside, all right? Sometimes you know how it is being empathic and being sensitive, caring a lot about people, and especially caring about what other people think. That can feel, that can be very much like kind of draining for your soul, and draining for your energy and draining for your soul, but also it just doesn't leave you in a good place, you know? And if you have one day you're like that, then you wake up the next day and you're fine, okay, no issue. The problem, and I was just talking with a new client about this, she's got days and days and days and days and days where she feels poorly, you know? She's been feeling poorly for weeks at a time, and then she'll have a couple of good days, but most of her days she feels poorly, drained, unseen, unheard, unappreciated, and lacking in some kind of way. Dealing with inferiority, things like that, feelings of inferiority, inadequacy, okay? For those of us, when you're in those periods where you can feel that energy coming on, especially as a life coach and empath, or a healer and empath, you need to remember why you came into this work. And usually the thing that's upsetting you is not the reason why you came into the work, but your reason why is what can save you and bring you back to a state of feeling inspired by the work that you're doing, okay? Your why connects you to your purpose. And this can like give you a fresh perspective, okay? And it can give you new energy. It can give you new meaning so that you can move forward, all right? So I think that was my number 5, right? I gave you 5: boundaries, self-care, guidance, celebrating your wins, and your why. So this last thing I want to say to you is just kind of about understanding that you're in an interesting place. You've got spiritual energy and your divine calling, and then you have the earth and the worldly manifestations. And you're a spiritual being, you're here, you have something that you're doing between these two. You're in a creative nexus, all right? That's my point. You're at a creative nexus. And it's really important to understand that because you are a creative force, you need to like really protect yourself from sloppiness, irresponsibility. What am I talking about? There's something that's very clear in my head, and here's what I'm trying to say. I don't want you all thinking that the people outside are the issue. I want to say that you are the issue. And I know that sounds shitty, but here's why I'm saying this. The people outside of you are not responsible for how you take care of yourself. I want you to take impeccable care of yourself. And that doesn't mean that you have to be perfect, but it means you need to recognize your worth and give yourself something. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You deserve the best. And the only person who can give you that is you. I want you to value you, take care of you, and go forward with your dreams. Yeah. So if you're ready to go forward with your dreams and you want to become a certified spiritual life coach, book yourself in for a strategy call and let's talk. All right. I'm going to check over here and see what my comments are. Jackie has given me some insight about her niche. Narcissism, helping people step into their power after narcissistic abuse. Yeah, regardless if it came from a romantic relationship or their parents. I like that. I like that, Jackie. So bitter and angry in the past. Yes, I would really like at some point to have a deeper conversation with you around that subject. For shizzle my nizzle. Yes, let's do that. It's crazy how much the world demands actions and shames thinking as laziness. It's fucking insane, sister. So insane how thinking is laziness. What are you doing? Just sitting here thinking, putting it all together, sitting here visualizing my future, visualizing my dream business, right? Visualizing my vacation, all right? So, so important. All right, my sweet friends, I want to thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday for our next session. And Teresa, look, I've been looking at my notes. I've been looking at my notes and I've not been checking in with the chat over here because I've been straight up in my notes and then Facebook over there. Hold on. We getting ready to go back because Teresa got a whole conversation going on over here with me. Hold on, sister. I feel I could do a lot more improvement. I would say between 5 and 7. Yeah. Okay, Teresa. So I see you valuing yourself 5 to 7. Look, I'm not mad at the number 7. 7, I think, is in the realm of okay. You would feel better if you were structured and doing more stuff. Like if you had more time to invest in your passion, I think that number would shoot up very quickly for you, right? Okay. I need to work on that. I charge, but I also ask people to pay it forward and to recommend me to others. Sister, that's so nice. And you need to get paid, okay? Because you can still get paid your $300 and say, thank you, recommend me to others, and remember to pay this forward, because that is also just their natural obligation. So yes. All right. Be the best of the best and the greatest of the other, and the greatest of the other greatest. That's funny. Okay. Step into your power of the Empress and set your boundaries for yourself and others and stick to them. That is really important. Yes. Most of the time I stick to them, then I get off track for a split second. Yes, that too. Getting off track, but that you get back on track pretty quick. Like you said, it's just a split second. That's not bad, right? I appreciate that. Focusing on myself first and the things that I need to better myself so I'm able to help others guide. Yes, I need to remember to eat, but I only eat when I get hungry. I love it, girl. Look, I need me some of that because I am the exact opposite. I'm like, let me remember to eat before I am hungry. Okay, I do not want to get hungry, but yes, you got to take care of yourself. And actually, for me, letting myself get hungry is an act of self-care, and that's a boundary that I have to set. I should not eat when I'm not hungry. So, boundaries can work in different ways for different people. But thank you so much, sweetheart, for your feedback. And it's always a pleasure to see your beautiful face. And I'm glad you weren't working today. All right, everyone. Yeah, listen to your bottle, but your body. That's right. You're getting some feedback there, Teresa. All right. Thank you, Leanna. And thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Idis, for joining. Thank you all for joining. I will see you all. I'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.